This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, you're encouraged to subscribe, like, and share them on Facebook. It's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition from Nutrition World, downtown Fort Pierce, across from City Hall in the historic Arcade Building. And now, your host, Joanne Seeger.
Hello, Cliff. Well, that was an amazing introduction. Thank you so much.
Subscribe, like, and share.
Well, this is my favorite Thursday of the month, and this is when Dr. Ravi is co-hosting with me. So good morning, Dr. Ravi.
Good morning, Joanne. Good morning, Cliff.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Oh, yeah. It was a little cooler out. We had that quick rain, so it kind of cooled things down maybe a whole 5 degrees, right?
I feel fall coming in.
I know. The leaves are probably turned by the time we get outside. Well, this is like a really awesome show we have planned for you today. It is on anti-aging and longevity, and with Dr. Ravi at my side, I know it's going to be awesome. But both of us really welcome callers. So if you have a question about chiropractic care, health, wellness, nutrition, really any personal health challenges you might be coming up with, please call us. We can help, and if we can't, we can maybe direct you to someone that can. So call the radio 340-1590 for any of your health questions, and we welcome that. All right, so Dr. Ravi, I'm hoping I have some new listeners. Oh my gosh, you just took a breath, and what did you remind me of?
Our breathing exercise.
My professional counter stepped away from the desk, so Cliff, you want to be my counter again for me today? You are the best counter in the Treasure Coast.
They don't see me slide out here. I'm off camera.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I got to keep that on the down low.
But
All right.
But I like breathing, and breathing works for me. And most health professionals agree that breathing is can have a positive reaction to your life.
Definitely. All right. So any newbies, welcome to the show. I really appreciate you spending some time with us this morning. We're just going to do 2 quick breathing exercises to focus us, to get our nerves all settled. We're going to exhale out the drama, the stress, and then in through the nose for 5. Hold for 5 and exhale only using your nose for 5, and we'll do that 2 times. Okay. So everyone, let's exhale.
Let it all out. Let it all out. And let's begin through our nostrils. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. 2, 3, 4, 5. You may open your eyes now.
I notice when I have Dr. Ravi as my co-host on the 3rd Thursday that my posture during the breathing exercise is so much better. No slouching allowed while my chiropractor is sitting next to me.
Don't worry, I'm not judging.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you don't want to tip him off that you might need to go see him.
Well, I do always need to go see him. We don't even start that conversation. All right. So today's topic, you did one of your amazing lectures as always, and it was on healthy aging. And I just thought, oh my God, the way you speak and how you really study your subjects before you speak about them, we definitely have to have our radio audience get that benefit too.
Yes, because everyone wants to know how to age young, right?
Yeah, exactly. I definitely, please. Oh my gosh, please.
But here's the reality is when people think of aging, right, they think of, the wrinkles. They think of aging like skin spots, right? They think of achy joints.
Why are you looking at me so much when you're saying that now? Just kidding.
And there's alternative and natural ways. And, I'm glad we do these radio shows because we're giving the audience an approach to do for their own lifestyle so they don't have to think about these things and suffer through these conditions.
Exactly. And the earlier you begin, it doesn't even matter if, you're listening in the car with mom and, you're 17. It's never too late. And one thing you and I always stress, and when we speak to people, it's just really don't look at this as all or nothing. We're going to discuss a lot of stuff this morning and, an hour's worth of suggestions. But even if you just walk away and plan implementing one new thing in your life, just one, it will make a difference. So don't think all or nothing. Just pick one strategy that works for you. And sometimes I know with me, my defenses go up if, that attitude of, but I can't. And it gets us caught in that really bad web. So really just think of something you can do. Pick that one thing and just start, and then go from there.
That will make an age of a difference.
Yeah, and the show will be on YouTube, later this week, so you can always refer back to it and pick up another tip for maybe the next 3 months, and then all of a sudden, the end of the year, you're doing all the suggestions, and you didn't even realize it.
Yeah,
So.
Joanne, this is one thing I do face in practice is, giving these 5 essentials that we teach to our patients. Sometimes it can be overwhelming because it's a lot. It's a whole different lifestyle approach. And so that's one thing I always recommend is sticking to one thing and harvesting on that and becoming the best at that, because those decisions that they make at that time can add years to their life later on. It can, decrease their chances of, developing cancer or dying at a younger age.
Yep. And they say our habits create ourselves.
Yes.
So we are our habits.
Yeah.
Well, in case we have any newbies, please introduce yourself so everyone knows who my lovely guest is.
Yes. So I am Dr. Ravi, owner of Tradition Family Chiropractic. We're located in Tradition, Port St. Lucie. Our mission is pure simple. It's basically to lead a health revolution as the compelling choice for chiropractic and holistic living. You can check out more of our services that we offer on traditionhealth.com. And today's workshop or today's topic, what we're talking about is healthy aging. And we're going to break this down into the 5 essentials of what we teach in our practice. And so, ready to get started?
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's
Awesome.
not waste any time. Well, you're definitely going over the first one. Go
Yeah,
for it.
so before I go over core chiropractic and the importance of the spine, many people think, well, what's the importance of chiropractic care and aging? There's a lot. There's a lot. And so as we age, we have years of exposure of toxins, bacteria, viruses. You think of the stress that we put on our daily body, when it comes to physical stress. On top of that, emotional stress, our poor diet. This actually causes inflammation in the body. And we know from science that inflammation is the #1 cause for cancer and any type of chronic condition that's out there. And so chiropractic adjustments that we do very gently in our office actually decrease your cytokine production, which is a key inflammatory marker for inflammation. And so chiropractic care has been shown to decrease these inflammatory markers, the cytokine production.
That sounds awesome.
That gets me excited because, when we remove the pressure off the nervous system, your body just releases great antioxidants. You get increased amounts of glutathione in your body after the adjustment.
It's like the highways open up and there's no detours anymore.
And then you can heal effectively.
Yep, I love that.
Yeah, and so oftentimes I do recommend maintaining the spine. So many of our maintenance patients that come in for their spinal care come in 1 time a month, just basically maintaining their spine, making sure their spine doesn't have any subluxations or misalignments. Or, people, as we age, our, research has shown, women shrink 2 inches by the age of 70.
Oh my gosh, I can't afford those 2 inches. So.
That's why we got to get you back in.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yes.
You just put it out there that I've been slacking. Thanks so much. Okay.
So, the chiropractic adjustments will make sure that doesn't happen because, being a female, it decreases your bone density as we age because our hormones aren't being produced at the right amount. So women are more prone to having osteopenia or osteoporosis, and corrective chiropractic care will make sure that shrinkage or that slouching posture doesn't occur. And what we know from science here, Joanne, is that slouching posture that we often see with desk jobs has shown to decrease the cardiorespiratory function.
Yes, and I've a lot of those studies are out there now, and it's for sitting, standing, but it all comes down to having that proper alignment and that proper posture. Which last month I mentioned about those different devices now to let you know that you're slouching, because I find myself, as I'm getting older, it's more difficult to have the awareness. We're so used to slouching a certain way. Like when I stand, even I have a stand desk, but even when I stand at the stand desk, I definitely feel that I'm favoring one hip over the other. But what I'm hoping today is that your description, sometimes unfortunately people think of chiropractors just go in there when you're feeling the pain or you have that urgent need. But like you said, if the spine is set up properly and it's communicating properly to the whole body, you will feel better. I know I feel better when I'm not slouching. I feel stronger. I feel, more focused. And whenever you see a sad or depressed person, right, you always see them slouched.
You look at their posture.
Yeah. Sometimes I see like generations, like there's a restaurant right down the hall from my store, and it's extremely popular in the area. And you'll see like 3 generations, grandma, mom, and daughter come in. And you see like literally the slouching, like grandma's real slouch, and then mom is halfway slouch, and then the daughter's just starting to hunch. I'm like, oh God, that's so, like when you look at it in generational issues.
And this
scary.
is where people think it's genetic. It's not.
Like they think everything is.
I know,
Unfortunately,
but it's the habits that are,
the environmental
going
habits.
down.
Yes.
And so what I challenge everyone to do today, if you want to hone into your posture, is something that I do for an example is every time I'm between a patient in the adjusting rooms, I pull my shoulders back and I look up, because with my posture of adjusting patients, I'm typically leaned over and adjusting onto their spine. So if you're at a desk, just pull your shoulders back every 30 minutes for 10 seconds and look up for 10 seconds.
Why does it feel uncomfortable when you do that? Is it because your body's so used to not doing the right
Correct.
thing?
Yes. You're activating different muscles, fast twitch muscles.
Okay.
So you're activating different muscles. Your body's not used to it.
Yeah, just now when I did it, it's like, oh, what an effort to hold your head back,
Yeah.
But you're right. We have to, well, hopefully you're planting the seed for all our listeners, and they're going to spread the word, because it really starts with proper alignment. So.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're traveling a lot, every exit on the highway, make sure your head hits the headrest. Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb.
I know, it's so and I mean, like, we're not even using our headrests.
We're not.
So weird.
Or every traffic light that you pass, just make sure you're making your head contact with the headrest.
I'm sorry, but this is a terrible habit. But people are leaning forward to text. So 2 horrible things. So you're losing your alignment and you're texting. So dangerous.
Yes.
Both parts.
Very hazardous.
Yes, very hazardous.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that is scary.
Yeah.
All right. So now we get to my favorite part of your 5
I wonder what that could be.
And that is nutrition. All right. So, of course, what you consume is extremely important to longevity and anti-aging. There are so many confusing rules out there, but there is one part of the nutrition plan that is critical, and it has so much clinical research to back up its thoughts. Okay. So it's collagen. Now, what I do is with my store, I try to go with companies that were around before all the hype.
Perfect.
Yes. And I really, now because I've been around before the hype, it's really easy. So there is one company that makes collagen that I sell. I sell a few, and I know you have some too. So I sell powders and pills, but there's a company called Health Direct Amino Sculpt. They've been around for 40 years. Medical grade collagen. The liquid is sometimes a little hard to get down. The consistency is a little different, but they just came out with a chocolate raspberry that I just tried last night, and it actually is really delicious.
Sounds appetizing.
Yep, but it's medical grade. Again, 40 years, tons of clinical studies to back up. It has all the different types of collagen. The peptides are so small, they're highly absorbable. As you and I both know, sometimes people or companies just come into business to make a quick buck and then they're out again. So you really want to make sure your collagen is sourced from really reputable sources. Just like the CBD oil thing, I get calls all the time from collagen manufacturers, and I ask them, a few basic questions. What supplier do you use? How long have you in business? How do you package it? And some of them don't even have those answers. It's kind of scary. So make sure if you're taking collagen, you take it from a trusted source. But collagen, what does it do? It's glue for the body. It holds us together. As far as anti-aging goes, oh my gosh, like wrinkles, when you get that droopy, saggy skin, that's because you're not making enough collagen. And again, a lot of doctors will say, oh, it's just because you're getting older, but that's not true. They're showing that if you have a diet rich in collagen-rich foods, then your wrinkles definitely lessen, your skin feels fuller and tighter. It helps you sleep, more joint mobility, and clearer skin too. Like your skin texture actually improves too, and your moisture of it. And there are so many great foods that if you didn't want to take a supplement, most supplements are pretty reasonably priced, but if you didn't want to use a supplement, there's lots of awesome foods. So bone broth, and again, get a company you can trust if you're buying bone broth. Make sure they're grass-fed bones. They're meant to simmer over 48 hours to really get the nutrients into the water. So bone broth soups are not really the same as bone broth supplement. Okay, they're just basically simmering for a few hours, and it's almost like stock for this supplemental bone broth. So you really want to make sure you get quality bone broth. Organic grass-fed meat. I try only, if I'm going to consume red meat, I only buy grass-fed. If I see it on sale at my supermarket, I always stock up and buy extra. But you can definitely, your body will not like conventional meat. It will disagree with it. It will be inflammatory. It will not, it will hurt you versus help you. But small portions of grass-fed organic meat do have a place in our diet. They do provide you with lots of CLA, tons of collagen, things that help the joints, help the skin, help the brain. But again, I'm not advocating you go out there and buy tons of animal foods that are, conventionally made. They're horrible, and they will definitely not improve your health. So do not go that direction. Cold water wild-caught fish. Getting hard to source quality fish these days. And like any food category, yes, you might be saying, oh, well, it all sounds bad, so why bother? No, now your dollars can help stores make better choices. So if you keep going to the fish counter and saying to the fish guy or the butcher in the meat counter, I want only organic grass-fed, I only want wild-caught single-line fish, your dollars will have power. So it's really important you remember that. So don't buy that farm-raised fish that's dunked in bleach and chemicals and really will be inflammatory and hurtful. If you're not going to buy the right stuff, don't buy it at all, okay? It's just not worth your health. Okay, so let's see. What else do we got here? Go ahead.
I want to say
Ravi.
something. I think the key point here with the collagen that you were saying in
Okay.
the beginning is small peptides.
That's right.
That's important to note too.
And I guess some of our listeners might not even know what peptides are, so thank you for bringing me back to that. But it's not really about what you eat. It's about what you absorb, whether it be your diet or your supplementation. Absorption is key, and a lot of these supplement companies, they don't take that into consideration, okay? So absorption of peptides is just basically like a molecule size that's going to absorb and be utilized by our body and put to good use. So if the peptides or the molecules too large, it's going to end up in our intestinal tract, might cause gastric upset, and then just not utilize it, waste it. It's just going out through the toilet. So it's really critical that you get the smaller peptide collagen, which is highly absorbable. And that's why bone broth is awesome if you're sourcing out correct ones. And I can tell you there's none in the supermarket that are true bone broth, just to let you know. I checked them out. Okay.
I was walking through Publix the other day. Sorry to put Publix out there, but they actually have it in the frozen section and in the meat section, bone broth like a liquid.
Yep.
And I was wondering how true is this?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah.
Now, if it's grass-fed bones and it's a broth, I really say, hey, that's a great soup starter, great for using in recipes. It will not hurt you if it's grass-fed organic, but will it have that collagen? The bones need to be simmered for over 48 hours on a very low heat for that collagen to be released from the bones into the liquid. So if there's not many companies that will invest that type of money into that type of procedure. So so unfortunately, but it's still okay if to have as a stock, just to general cooking.
Yeah,
it's
And just as we age younger, our need for collagen gets increased, as well as our vitamins. And so our vitamins, making sure we're on a good multiple vitamin, important. But as we age, we want to make sure we're taking the top 3, which is your ACE, so vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E. And I'm a big fan because, we were made to eat. However, things like oranges, berries, red, colorful vegetables, those are great and antioxidants. Not only antioxidants that help your body fight inflammation, but also help support your skin, your nails, lung health, and immune function as well.
Yeah, it's critical. And our soils are depleted, as most people know. I hope they know. So supplementation, unfortunately, now is necessary. Our foods, and this is not me saying this, is our government has said it many, many years ago that they could not keep up with keeping the soil nourishing enough.
Yeah, so our soils are depleted, so these,
Can I add another food to your
important.
vitamin A, C, E
Go
list?
ahead.
Okay, figs.
Figs.
So figs are coming up. They're a wonderful fall fruit, and figs are rich in tons of nutrients, potassium, ACE, all of them, tons of fiber, and omegas. They're very perishable. I happen to love them. I've been eating them for a super long time. They have a nice sweetness to them. Some people don't like the taste because it's a weird kind of squishy texture. But, if you just take the fig, because a lot of the nutrition is in the skin, and throw it in your shake or your smoothie, you really don't have to, chew the whole thing. It's just a wonderful thing. It has all the nutrients you mentioned and so much more, and it's different to break the thing. And like I mentioned a couple shows ago, if you buy fruits and vegetables that aren't as so popular, the chances are that they're not sprayed and commercially processed as much as the other ones. So like now berries, they're sprayed so badly.
So you want to make sure you get those organic.
Yeah, so always organic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Another one here, your vitamin E, from nuts. Very important, vitamin E, tocopherols as well. This is going to help inflammation and disease as well. So as we, age, one big thing I see in practice is patients asking questions like, what can I do for my cataracts? And, vitamin A and E are very important.
Critical,
So if anyone out there is looking for something that they can implement into their foods, look for vitamins that are rich in A and E for cataracts.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I always forget, it's, even with my own eyes, as we're getting older, I mean, you always say, oh, you're almost 50, you're going to get your glasses, and then the prescriptions just get stronger and stronger almost on a yearly basis. So yes, we have to protect our eyes too, and anti-aging for the eyes. All right, so that's great to know. Vitamin E decrease the chance of cataracts. Awesome. All right, well, there's some things that, like I mentioned, the figs in the smoothies, using herbs and spices. Again, some people maybe just aren't comfortable with supplementation. It's something that, they're just unsure of and they don't want to start. So start with some herbs and spices, like Ayurveda medicine, Chinese medicine, thousands and thousands of years old, and they have taught us that food can be your medicine. But you have to kind of step out of the American eating system to really recognize these, okay? So maybe go into an Asian shop, maybe try some Indian cuisine. It's wonderful. We ate Indian food yesterday, the restaurant in Port St. Lucie, Matt and I, and
Oh,
and
yes.
they had a couple things in the dish that we didn't even know what they were, and I'm still don't know. He was too busy to like talk to us, but I'm pretty sure it was like coriander. They're really big and hard, like pits in the center, but definitely tons of flavor. And so you got to really like learn about these things, because turmeric, fennel, coriander, these things have amazing abilities to help heal the body, bring it into balance, and you can use it in lots of dishes, soups, meat dishes, stir fries. You just have to stock your spice cabinet with something other than salt and garlic and, oregano.
Yeah.
But I'm guilty of that. I used to just have all the normal American spices, and now, we're venturing into making our own Penang curry. So we brought all those different seasonings into our home, and but fennel, great for digestion. But I know we're on anti-aging, but they have showed that especially turmeric, which is probably the most popular herb of the world right now, seasoning spice, it's great at anti-aging. The essential oil part of the turmeric definitely will prevent inflammatory processes, which we've covered numerous times on the show, that all the problematic pathways of the body start with inflammation. So if you can just even incorporate turmeric, essential oil or turmeric powder into your day-to-day, put it on everything. It's not so bold where it's going to ruin anything. Sprinkle it in your shake, sprinkle it onto your food, sprinkle it on your salad, incorporate it into everything. Maybe not your coffee, okay? Maybe not your coffee, but everything else.
And
I'd
going
say
into
turmeric's probably, if you're going to start with one, you
start with that.
there.
And you know what? Going into the fall season, it adds as a great color.
Yes,
to
nice
your food.
orange
Nice
color.
orange color.
Yeah, be careful of that as far as staining goes.
Yes.
But yeah, it's I would say turmeric, like all the other. I'm not going to put you on the spot, okay? But curry, it's like 5 different ingredients in there. I can't remember what they are, but do you know what they are off the top?
So
of your head?
turmeric is the big one,
Okay.
and it's actually onions.
Oh,
It's
okay.
onion base.
All
So it's basically stir fried down with turmeric. You have cardamom.
Cardamom. Okay,
Yes.
love that one.
Fennel as well, because that, there's great benefits, like you were saying, with that. And there's some other spice in there, anise, which is licorice.
Oh yeah, anise. I
Licorice,
love
anise,
anise.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what we use.
Okay. Well,
but
yeah,
in the
we're
restaurant
trying-
industry, they probably add more.
Yeah, and we're trying to incorporate them, but it's just now it's so cool with how our marketplaces have progressed in their thinking. Like you can go to, the one aisle that has all the different nationalities and their, it doesn't matter, all around the world, their specialties. But you definitely want to try some spices. Spices have tons of antioxidants. Fight those bad free radicals in the body, make your cells stronger. Our cells, die and replace every second in the human body. So the more tools and the more antioxidants you give it, like Dr. Ravi mentioned, the vitamin A, C, and E, the more of those you give your body, the stronger the next cell is made. And do not think that you are set with what you have as of this morning. If you change your lifestyle and you bring new things in, your cells will say thank you and make a second stronger cell.
They can regenerate.
I know.
Yes.
And people really don't believe it, even though science has told them 1 billion times that you have 1 billion cells that do die and make a new one. So I always say, let it shop for something better. If you still give it the same humdrum, crappy food, crappy thoughts, crappy lifestyle, you're going to get a crappy cell.
Just like a lizard, if you chop the tail off, it grows back, right?
Yeah.
Just like our liver. If
I know.
that happens, our liver can regenerate and
but
grow
I
back.
really don't believe people believe it because they can't see it. And a lot of us are we only believe things we can see.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, please know that we're telling the truth. Science has proved it thousands and thousands of times over. Cells, when they die, a new one is made. It happens billions of cells every day. So let's just give it better choices to make a stronger cell.
So one herb that I want to talk about is stevia. So the stevia plant,
okay.
right? This is actually a great sugar alternative. I know you in the store you have the
we have monk fruit and stevia.
monk fruit,
and xylitol.
Xylitol. Those are great alternatives when it comes to sugar substitutes.
Yep.
But I'm sticking to that herb aspect. Stevia is
and
another
even
great
all the
alternative.
restaurants have stevia now.
They do,
Starbucks
yes.
has stevia. Of course,
Yes.
I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but back to what we were saying is making sure that it's produced properly,
Correctly,
right?
yeah.
Because we as consumers drive that market, and so when we start asking questions for manufacturers to come out with new things, they're going to try to look into it and make these things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so when we look at sugar intake, one thing that we notice is when we have a process like glycation that happens, that's just a simple term from when a sugar binds to your skin cells, that causes aging spots.
They do that example on fruit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, when you open up a skin of a fruit and all of a sudden it starts getting brown and gross. And
Yeah,
yuck.
and so when we're consuming too much of this table sugar or sucralose or aspartame, this is what's happening is glycation, that process is occurring, so we get those aging spots.
Yeah, and it's already happening inside where we can't see it.
We can't see it, yes. So it's like that iceberg effect. You know, we don't see the bottom of the iceberg, but we always see the top.
Yeah.
In order for that top to develop, it's been developing hundreds of years.
That's right.
Before the top, before we see it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But stevia is wonderful. But like you said, I know it does matter what brand you buy, and unfortunately, I noticed a lot of them are mixing them with starches and
sugar
others.
alcohols.
Yeah. It's like they took a great thing and ruined it.
Yeah, and so I had a conversation with a patient the other day, and she was basically given up on stevia, and I'm like, what type are you using? And she brings it in, and it has all these other different components to it.
Wow.
And I'm like, you just need pure stevia.
Yep.
And so people, they try it and they hear they've had stevia and it doesn't work for them. They have bloating, they have diarrhea, and they don't want to try it again. But it's what type did you try?
Definitely. And I want to say, like, I have never been the online shopper. Matthew buys a lot of things online, and so I'm getting more used to checking things out online. So one thing that online marketing is really famous at is they always advertise, the front of packaging and the headline, the bullets. And I notice when it comes to stevia or monk fruit, so if you're not going into my store or local health food store for stevia, keep in mind that when you're online shopping, to click the ingredient panel, don't go by the heading of what they're saying it is. Do not trust that. Click on the ingredient panel. I went to buy monk fruit from Amazon because my supplier was out, and I just wanted to have a little backup. And I ordered it because it said monk fruit. That's all it said in the description. So I wanted to get this done quick. I ordered, 6 pieces, boom. Comes in, has 4 other things in it, and 2 of them were not things I would want in my body.
Oh,
so
no.
So I just want listeners to really be aware. Do not go by the bold subject line.
The front
Click
label.
on the other picture, and if they don't list ingredients, someone else was buying CBD oil online, sent me the link, and I said, no, I need the ingredient panel. Don't send me the label. Send me, and she said, there is none. I said, no, there has to be.
That's a red flag.
They can't sell it. Sure enough, I went on the site, and they did not list the ingredients. And that right there, I would be like, run. Like, don't even, get off that site immediately. So please be aware that you need to see ingredient panels before you ever buy anything. So.
Yes. Along with this sugar topic here, I was talking about aspartame and sucralose, the fake sugars like the Equal, the Splenda.
Yep.
That poisons our brain.
Yep.
And so that's why, if you want to decrease your chances of getting dementia or Alzheimer's or even Parkinson's, try to eliminate that stuff. If you're doing 3 packs of those sugar in your coffee, break it down 2 packs until you wean yourself off of it into more of the natural approach of
and
stevia or
that
xylitol.
should show someone right there the fact that they get addicted to that flavor and that experience.
Yeah, and
you're right.
It is hard. It is a process. So always having an accountability partner, whether it's your spouse, your doctor, or even your kids, because you're going to want to talk through this, because when you wean yourself off of these sugars, you can get headaches, because your body was so dependent on that.
That's right. And, our brain does need glucose, but keep in mind, all carbohydrates, an apple will give your brain enough glucose to be very happy and satisfied. So you don't need, big refined carbohydrates or all these sweeteners. And for any newbies on the artificial sweetener, even though we're talking about anti-aging longevity, when it comes to weight loss, there has been not one study showing that using artificial sweeteners helps with weight loss. So that whole thing where, I'm going to cut sugar back and use this artificial instead to lose weight, there's never been a study to prove that that is true, just so you know. And actually, there's studies that show the opposite is true, because it's telling our tongue, something sweet and yummy's coming in, so it starts secreting all these insulin and all this stuff, thinking that it's going to start digesting sugar, but the sugar never comes, and it keeps hoping and waiting and doing its job, and it never comes. So the whole system starts malfunctioning, and the pancreas gets extremely overwhelming.
Yeah. And so when you talk about digestion, apple cider vinegar,
one of my favorites. So some people that are on a tight budget, they're like, Joanne, just please tell me one thing I can buy that's under $10.
Very inexpensive.
Very inexpensive. Apple cider vinegar. It's sold everywhere now. But make sure you get the Bragg's apple cider vinegar. It's raw. It has great amount with the mother on the bottom. And it has a good amount of the culture. I know some brands that will say it's raw and unfiltered, but you get a tiny bit of the sediment on the bottom, which I know they're doing it because people that aren't in the know think that yucky stuff on the bottom is bad. But the more yucky stuff on the bottom, the better it is for you. All you do is shake your bottles, that stuff floats all around and will do magic inside your body. It's definitely for longevity and anti-aging, but there's hundreds of uses for apple cider vinegar. It's really considered a food, not so much a supplement, but you can add it into your salad dressings. You can drink it straight. You can dilute your water with it. You can put it on externally on your skin. It has so many great uses. For 20 years, I'll put it in green clay and mix the apple cider vinegar with green clay and make a facial mask. It's phenomenal at helping digestion, elimination, and absorption. We were talking about absorption earlier. The more integrity your intestinal tract has to let the good stuff out and the bad stuff go through, that's what apple cider vinegar helps with. So your pH system, which is critical to get your minerals to your bones to keep your skeleton strong, all of these things are critical. And we sell 2 Amish formulas, that one's for cramping and one is for acid reflux, which unfortunately is an epidemic right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we sell them. They're super cheap. So you've got to look into raw apple cider vinegar with the mother. Bragg's is my favorite go-to brand. They make drinks. They make salad dressings. Lots of great stuff. But I would definitely give that a try.
Yeah, and why it's so important, especially why we see such great results with it with heartburn, is because that's a digestive issue with your acid being produced or too little
which
being
gets
produced.
less as we get older, right?
And so actually apple cider vinegar is shown to increase your digestive enzymes.
Love it.
Yeah.
And everyone knows I love enzymes. It's
great for
everything.
The flu season coming up,
Yep. Not that we're going to get affected.
We're not,
yeah, of course not, yeah.
Excuse me.
Yep. That's funny that you coughed right at that
Yeah, I know,
moment.
right?
That was just a general talking cough, yeah.
The talking about, apple cider vinegar is fermented, and so talking a little more about fermented foods help decrease your chances of having the cold, the virus occurring. So great fermented foods are like sauerkraut, kimchi. Even you can find fermented coconut yogurt.
Yes, I've actually had it. I've had coconut yogurt.
Did you like the taste?
It was unique. It was unique. I love coconut, but lately some of the coconut products are too rich for me. But fermented foods, you can't go wrong. If you talk to any of the best health mentors in the world, they will all tell you to consume more fermented foods. No matter what their diet plan is,
Yep,
they still all say do fermented foods because it all is the gut, the second brain. You have to make it healthy to get the nutrients to where it needs to go and the bad stuff out of you.
Yeah, and the important thing with this is it helps increase those digestive enzymes with our standard American diet that we currently have today.
Yep.
We're not getting a production of our digestive enzymes.
Yeah,
to
and
help
all the
absorb
stores are
nutrients.
selling these fermented foods now too. I know if for our local listeners in Stewart, they have a lot of selection of fermented foods. I'm blanking on the name of the store. Fresh Market, I think it is.
Yes,
So
Fresh Market.
So yeah, they have the kimchi with different flavoring, and it's non-spice, well, not mild spice, and then spicy. So definitely look into more fermented foods in your diet. Super
Yeah, and you can
important.
make your own if you have time to, or just purchasing it at health food stores.
Yeah, it is more money to purchase
Yeah.
it, but sometimes we seem to be, creatures of convenience. So I know we tried to do the fermented foods, and it was a total fail. But a lot of people are a little more talented than me in that field. So
Yeah.
all right. Oh, I love the next topic. Oh my
Mindset.
God, mindset. This is unfortunately a lesson that I keep learning the hard way. And all I can stress, and I've always been really honest with my audience with my personal battles. I'm like an open book. I don't believe in like keeping all your issues in a closet and trying to go out there with a strong front. And the more we share with each other, the stronger we make our community, and we commune together and we learn from each other. So we not to have that competitive spirit, like I saw this perfect analogy on Facebook. They showed a mirror and this perfect apple looking at the mirror, and then the back of the apple was brown and chewed into.
Aged.
Yeah, and it said, it's not always what you see. And that's why I'm really I know Jen used to tease me a long time ago, because, everyone knows your whole story. Because every challenge I believe that was put in my life is because God wanted me to help someone else because of it.
That's what it's there for, yeah.
The plantar fasciitis. Oh my God, that put me on the couch for months, and it's basically made me weight came on and really bad choices because of it. And now menopause has hit me. But I started actually taking one of my supplements and became loyal to it. And
You're
the
seeing
hot
changes.
flashes completely gone. I'm sleeping better from one pill a day. That's $14.99 for a 2-month supply. And it took me a year to have the mindset to admit that I was going through menopause. So it is all about the mindset, and it is all about that decision that it's okay to have something going wrong, but let's learn how to fix it, because we're so stubborn. We are so stubborn, and we're so in this whole front of oh yeah, I'm fine, everything's good. Meanwhile, everything's not so good.
Not good.
So the mindset is really where it's at. Your thoughts create who you are, and I really believe in being positive and putting out there with your words really what you want to create. But you have to be honest with yourself and your choices, and it's hard. It's really hard sometimes, but it's one of the things that, and everyone teases me about my breathing exercise every Thursday morning. And why do I have to start my show with it? To remind me, because we're all shallow breathers, but breathing is available to all of us, and we do not do it. Just taking time to sit in quiet. You don't have to call it meditation. You don't have to call it exercise. Take 30 seconds, close your eyes, and do some deep breathing exercise. That will help control stress more than anything, just controlling your breath. Yoga. I used to be a yoga teacher, and it's I always thought you got to do the 90 minutes or do nothing. Do it all or do nothing. But no, you can do a few yoga stretches every morning, and if you don't have a fancy mat, do it on your floor. But you have to learn to feel your body, listen to your body, and definitely do these breathing exercises to be in touch with that mind-body connection. So we have a caller that we're going to work on. So Norman, hang in there. In just about 2 minutes, we're going to talk about sleep real quick. We will grab your call.
Sleep,
Okay.
along with that, managing stress with yoga. Sleep is very important in the aspect of making sure you're getting a good quality night's rest. So what I always recommend is 7 to 9 hours of sleep and quality sleep. This sleep, irritability, memory problems, and increased risk of falls are among the problems what we see in the older individuals. And those are the ones that aren't getting quality sleep. They're not getting enough sleep. They're getting inadequate. They're waking up in between their sleep cycles. So making sure you're getting quality sleep, and this all stems from making sure that you're, taking care of your body, like Joanne was saying, practicing some good breathing techniques right before you go to bed. Sleep, once again, very important for cell repair of cell damage.
They say that all happens during sleep.
Tissue damage, yes. They're repairing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
rejuvenation,
so a great way to check your sleep is an app. There's an app out there. It's called Sync Tuition. You can go ahead and download that on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, and it will calculate how you're sleeping.
Yeah, oh my gosh, we've been doing it. It's so crazy. It's only 24 minutes of meditation that they say is worth 4 hours of meditation. We're in love. They give you 7 days of a free run, and then I think it's like $95 for a year. But you guys got to check it out. Sync Tuition. Totally cool. All right, Norman, line 1. Good morning, Norman.
Good morning. I want to ask you a question. A couple of months ago, I was in your store, and your lovely manager, I was about borderline diabetic, and she gave me the Sucandrol D.
Oh, yes, Sucranotrol B. Yep. How did that work out for you?
It's not working.
It's not. And how long have you been doing it?
2 months.
Okay, Norman, I don't want to put you on the spot on the air, but how much do you weigh?
About 250.
All right, so Norman, the only time we found that Sucranotrol, oh, that's a tongue twister, didn't work because it has so many clinical studies to back it up, is when someone is a little bigger than the average weight. You need more pills. So Terry's line is completely money back guarantee, but I really, because it's so critical for you to get your blood sugar under control, that if you can please double the suggested dose. Most supplements are based on about 150 pounds. That's usually what they do studies with the average weight, which is 150. So unfortunately, you might not have been taking enough to give you the results that you need.
Okay, I've been taking it 3 times a day, so should I...
Yeah, so whatever the box says, just you would have to almost double that suggestion to make it correct according to your weight. Now, I do have people that still are getting results, but as we all know, lifestyle choices do affect your blood sugar tremendously, if not completely. So we can go into that more detail off the show, but right now I'd say I would definitely not give up on it, especially since it's a money-back guarantee.
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about getting the sugar down.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's why Terry says it doesn't matter if you're returning 3 boxes, 6 boxes. He wants you to take the correct amount long enough so you actually see the shift happen. And most supplements, it should be within 60 days, but I always tell people 90 to play it safe because there's so many things at play there.
Okay, I'll double up on that.
All right. Thank you, Norman.
Yeah, because the VA, I went there, and they because you're just a little bit over the, I keep thinking they keep changing the rating on that. I think they said it's 5.0 is the borderline.
Oh, the markers? Yeah, they say that they're changing, unfortunately, in America because the curve for how many people are diabetic and weight and all those factors, they had to increase. I don't know. It's just like supposedly some numbers game to them. But the truth is that we do have to really watch out for our waist circumference. I struggle with that on a daily basis, really keeping my waistline down so that way you don't have insulin resistance, which 85% of the United States has insulin resistance, and that's a huge number, and that just basically means our body does not know how to metabolize sugars anymore, not even from an apple. So we have to retrain our body, but it's not impossible. Now, the Sucranotrol will get your sugar level to be where The spikes won't hurt your arterial lining, but you still have to really make the waistline shrink that down. And if you want to come in and talk to Jennifer or myself, we'll help you do that, okay? Or you should visit Dr. Ravi. I'm not saying this because he's sitting next to me, but he has helped me a lot. The stronger your body feels, the more it communicates properly, it will function better. So you first got to get that communication lines open, and Dr. Ravi can help you with that part.
Okay. Well, when is the best time you're going to be in there?
Always Thursdays after my show. That's the most important time. Other than that, Jennifer can take name and numbers down at the store and actually make an appointment with you.
Now, you know anything about that keto diet?
I do. Unfortunately, though, we only have 5 more minutes left in the show, and the keto is a whole show in itself. But, Norman, I would love to talk to you more. Call up Jen at the store, and she will give you my cell phone number, which is on the back of every business card.
Okay. You're going to be there this afternoon?
Yep. I pick up my kids at 3, but I will be there from 11 to 3.
Okay. I'll take a run down there.
All right. Thank you, Norman. Have a great day.
Right. You too.
Okay.
All right. So one last thing is oxygen and exercise. So someone that's facing blood sugar issues, or have diabetes, or even any type of heart condition like high blood pressure, one thing to do is just get out today and walk for 30 minutes, a brisk walk. Let's start off with that.
Yeah, good music in the ears and go for it.
Get some good oxygen in the brain, and it's going to actually increase good production get circulation going through your body.
Yep, that was good. And I'm going to, for any of my listeners that are having struggles with feet and neuropathy or anything where walking seems a little painful right now, I have a mini rebounder that I keep in the house. That's a good tool, so it doesn't feel like so much pressure, or if the heat is an issue. So move your body, just move that body.
And rebounders have been shown to decrease osteoporosis.
Yeah, I love mine.
So that's a great alternative for someone that can't walk.
Yep, and they're so small now. You can tuck them in a closet or under a bed.
Yeah.
Yep, it's so mini rebounder. Just move the body. And toxins. Okay, so now we could go on for probably 10 hours how toxic our environment will be. Our dental fillings, air fresheners.
Stuff found in plastic bottles.
Yes, and I know this is a huge topic right now. It's everywhere, but vaccines have toxic ingredients added to them. It's everywhere. So all we ask is that you control the ones that are controllable. Mm-hmm. Stop using perfumes and fragrance laundry detergents and fresheners, plug-ins. Control the toxins that are controllable. What you're spraying your lawn with, your garden with. Just be really careful about that.
Yeah, and there's so many different alternatives there in the aspect of like using Glade for air fresheners or just freshening the air. And in your store, Joanne, you have those alternatives.
And
so
you too, essential oils and diffusers. Dr. Ravi and I both, when you come in our places, we're running those diffusers. You smell health. You don't smell this toxic. And those toxins are really bad when you're trying to get pregnant, when you're trying to fight an autoimmune disease, and it makes you irritable. There are actually studies showing that those
brain
toxins,
fatigue.
You actually get pissed off. When I walk into the Publix and I go anywhere near that laundry detergent aisle, I literally feel my skin crawl. It's horrible. So, watch your exposure to toxins. Definitely control what you can, minimize them, try out diffusers, essential oils. And do you have, I know Young Living, they have so many awesome blends, the Thieves blend. Why don't you talk about that for the last minute?
Yeah, so Thieves, a great blend. It has the clove, rosemary, eucalyptus. It has cinnamon in it as well. And these are all great antiviral, antibacterial approaches. So great for the flu season. It smells like fall.
Yeah, I love it. You have it in your bathroom. It's awesome.
Yeah, you can internally ingest it as well.
Yep.
So fighting any type of bacteria or virus.
So there are alternatives, everyone. So please try your best this week to make one of these changes. And if you want to make all of them, power to you. Dr. Ravi and I are here to support your decisions. Jennifer, my manager, is there if anyone needs my cell phone number. And thank you so much, and have a great week, everyone. Dr. Ravi, have an awesome week.
Thanks for having me.
I'll see you soon.
See you next month, the third Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Archives of Joanne's World of Nutrition can be found on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share them on Facebook. This is WPSL Port St. Lucie. WPSL.com. On Alexa and Google Home. The time right now is 11 o'clock.